And that is our men's finalist. 16 athletes will be fighting it out for the gold medal. And you can see at the end there's a final and a small final. The final is where gold and silver is decided. The small final, bronze and fourth place. And I mean, I always think if you're in a small final, you lose out then, that is heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's really tricky. It's a position that I've been in before, and you feel like you have so much momentum throughout the whole competition, and then the last two races just don't go your way.
From backstage, our first two athletes out stage, rekorduniapanjattebing and Samuel Watson. Team USA, your teammate.
Yeah, Sam's an athlete from Dallas. He is climbing on the same youth team that I grew up on right now, actually. So it's been cool to see him progress as much as he has.
So here we go, first race, rekorduniapanjattebing and Samuel Watson. Both get off to a good start, but it's rekorduniapanjattebing leading the way at the moment. Samuel just hesitates, and Kemal stops the clock at 5.51. Yeah, saving it for this moment in the spotlight. The crowd dropping into silence. The athlete's focused. Ludovico ahead at the moment as we reach the halfway stance, but it's very, very close. It looks like it could be Ludovico, and it is. All the way through there, he was just fractionally ahead. Sparsa are part of Team Indonesia, who have such a presence here in South Korea.
Yeah, they really do, and he's still holding it down for him. 5.71 is nothing to joke about.
Well, this is it. We look at the time. You think, oh, they've lost. It can't have been that fast, and then you notice the time, and you realise that really it's at the highest level.
Yeah, the level that the sport has come to just in the past cut at the Salt Lake City World Cup last year, which is coming up here soon, so I'm sure he'll be hungry to have that back.
And he might be able to have it back this evening, let's see. Although it won't count, of course, it is a race with the other competitor. Right, we pause. And they're off to a fast start. Yeah, though, big slip and a fall. Veddriq just needs to keep it together, not fall off, and he does get it done. In front of his home crowd, 5.76 is his PB. Alfian's 5.6.
Cool to see the Koreans here in the final at their home World Cup.
Yeah, I expect some noise from the crowd here. He's off to a good start in front of his home crowd. The fans coming back. Is it going to be sick? It is! The South Korean athlete. That's Rahman. Mulyono versus Rahajeti Samsat from Indonesia. Let's see if these two teammates, what they'll do, and it's always hard racing a teammate, you know their strengths and weaknesses. Oh, and both with big slips. That was some drama.
I would have thought they'd planned that. Oh,
and another big slip. Finally, Rahman stops the clock. I mean, there's so much to talk about with that one. Both athletes slipping, and final race here for the men. Zinal Apriman on the left. Young on the right. From South Korea, can another South Korean athlete make it through to the next round? Slipping.
Missed the foot.
Zinal will easily make it up. He can't fall, and he doesn't. 6.06 for him.
World record earlier, but again, he's got to execute and move on.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how fast you are if you fall off. Kemal, at the moment, is ahead. Really ahead. He's a long way ahead. Wow. 5.26. I mean, that's close to the previous world record.
That is close to the previous world record.
So Kemal, on some form, I think we can say at the moment, perhaps the man to beat here tonight in Seoul.
Cool to see these athletes going so fast, because you can just tell how confident they are with their training and their climbing tonight.
Yeah, they're perhaps not quite as on it, just a little more staccato with the way they climb. He just flowed up that wall. Using the holds and the wall itself to smear on into the final.
Had relatively similar times in the last round, but Leonardo will be the favorite. Looking at their personal best there at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, it's close. But Veddriq for sure. Now Veddriq is turning it up. Turning the power at the top. 5.47 for Veddriq. He moves forward, no problems at all.
You can tell just how hard he's trying, and he's still hitting all the holds well. And hopefully he'll be psyched that he was able to represent well.
Well, they do reset. These two teammates will be going through it together. And it is always hard, but now it doesn't matter what's gone before. It's all about this moment. Wait for the buzzer. Straight off as with a big slip early on. He's still on the wall, he's still climbing, but Mohammed will take it. And John, a slip like that, as long as you catch yourself, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, as long as you don't let go of the wall. Even though you're weighting the auto-belay, technically, that's kind of something that's pretty hard to avoid.
It's hard to tell, isn't it? But there you see both hands were still easily on the wall when he slipped.
Yeah, slip on that start. Yeah, you would think that that just little deviation in the starting routine maybe got to him a little bit.
Well, we have seen a few slips down low on this wall. The wall's 15 metre high, 5 degrees overhanging, and this is a world record wall, so it means, as we saw earlier on today, world records can be beaten on it.
That may be true, but really it doesn't affect the climbing experience at all. Like, they're just tiny little measurements that may be off, and they've got all these special tools to certify a wall to decide whether or not a world record will be broken or not, but really the climbing experience for all the athletes is the same either way.
Yeah, I saw the special tools. It was a piece of metal with some holes in it, so less technical than you'd think. Really behind their shoulders. There's different methods.
Yeah, so if the auto belay is between your arms, it sometimes gets in your way when you're trying to grab the holds.
All right, here we
so
go.
A lot of the athletes like to just tuck it out of their way.
Bejagchannel motions through this route, 5.29.
Wow. Had a little slip in the middle too, but just exploded for the top section. That was crazy.
I mean, that could, if they hadn't had that slip, that could have been another world record. He gets a 5.29. That's stunning. He will move forward into the finals. Ludovico looks down his arm. He gave himself a bang. He will get to race again. What a race that was. Kermel unleashed something there. Look at this middle section he had. Power through it. Smearing on the wall like it's a hold.
Yeah. He's getting a crazy amount of power off of every move that he's doing.
Wearing sticky rubber shoes, of course, but there's so much technique that goes into being able to do what he just did. And that wall, 5 degrees overhanging, there's no purchase on it when you are smearing, you're just using friction. So, next men's race, veddriqleonardo. This is Mohammed Malago. Two teammates. Only one can make it through. Who's going to pip the post? I'd say Veddriq is the favourite in this, but it's going to be very, very close. So they are both off to a start. Veddriq is ahead at the moment, fractionally, but he's getting... Oh, I just stops the clock at 5.38.
That was close. Yeah, he got a little bit ahead of the start. Ramad just had a...
Close. Veddriq was ahead from about a quarter way up there, just laid down the power. Slaps up nicely. Beats his teammate.
It's cool to see these teammates climbing side by... And they all probably have pretty similar backgrounds in climbing as well and how they grew up and competed in the sport.
So Kermel Katabin and veddriqleonardo will fight it out for gold and silver.
That's a familiar pairing.
Yeah, those two have raced before, and they'll race again here tonight. They'll get to go back, rest. So, our first race up on stage. This is the small final, so this is for bronze medal and 4th place.
This is for the bronze medal and 4th place.
So Ludovico from Team Italy, very experienced.
This final can be a little nerve-wracking because you're fighting for a podium spot. You've got a lot more to lose than just a gold or silver medal.
That's a very good point. If you lose in the final, at least you're getting a silver medal. For one of these athletes, they won't be on the podium. That means a lot. So Ludovico is off to a good start, but pauses.
A little pause. He's going to have to go.
Mohammed takes the bronze medal. Ludovico will have to settle for 4th. Mohammed looks more injured than happy, that cradling his hand.
Yeah. If he is injured, that is impressive that he was able to climb so fast.
I think it might have just been a bump. He leaves the stage looking absolutely exhausted. He's a
little slip at the beginning, but he was able to pull it back, make those micro adjustments. And the rest of it was just flawless.
Oh.
And he is psyched.
Yeah, that's some explosive power on the top of that. Finishing off things nicely. Kicking back his legs, and they're just... I'm not sure who our gold medalist will be for the men. Rekorduniapanjattebing versus veddriqleonardo. I couldn't call this if you asked me to. This is going to be so close.
I'm sure they race all the time in practice, and it just goes back and forth.
Look at those PBs. Veddriq used to have the world record until today. Kemal now has the world records as of today.
Each of these guys are going to go fast right now.
Blink and you miss it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't make a cup of tea. Stay with us. This is it, the final for the men. Gold and silver on the line. Who will walk away with victory here tonight as we wait for the buzzers? Oh, and we have a full start.
Wow. Both of them false started.
Right, now look at the reaction times.
They are the same.
Right, this is going to be very interesting because this comes down now. This has got to go to the judges, and they both look up. I mean, to have, if that clock is right, they've full started at exactly the same moment.
Well, they're each gunning for it. They know that they have to go as fast as they can in order to win this race.
All right, we'll wait for the judges' decision on this one.
I hope we get to see these guys race again.
I would like to. Look at this.
There's a chance they will give it to Kemal because he was the higher seed. But I'm not totally sure what's going to happen. Normally a false start would mean a competitor is out and they lose that race. Oh, they're going
They are restarting. Right, well, that's good to know. Both athletes having full started, so we go again. Waiting for the buzzer. This drama wasn't enough.
Oh.
And another full start. This time from Kemal. And Veddriq will no, Veddriq's come down as well.
Well, Veddriq did not false start, and so I think he just realized and heard the beeps. And
well, a slight anticlimax to that race, but that is speed climbing for you. That's what happens.
That's what happens when the adrenaline is pumping and you're psyched to go as fast as you can. And these guys are each very, very capable of breaking a world record. So you know that's what they were both going for.
Did we just commentator curse that by saying that it will be a fast race? It was a dramatic race. That will be remembered. That was it again. So that was the full start, and Veddriq would have won it, decided to come down instead of...
Oh, maybe he's going again. I am guessing he gets a chance to set a world record.
So let's see what we can do here tonight.
Oh, little slips. Yeah. It's interesting. There's a very specific amount of energy and effort that you can put into each run. And so maybe you're trying really, really hard, but that doesn't necessarily translate to a faster time because you have to be accurate too.
And I suppose motivation as well at that point. You know you've got it in the bag. Well, Veddriq is our winner here tonight. The gold medal for him. He will be standing on top of the podium, on top of the world, as he fist bumps his teammate. And a great start to his season is 2022 Speed IFSC season.
Right after the start, you could see that little hesitation, and then that affected the next move. And
it's only a bad time, was it? 6.96. All three raise their trophies up for the world to see.
I think it's some cool backpacks. I've never seen that as a prize from a competition like this.
Good prize. I quite like a backpack prize.
Oh yeah.
Hear the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Indonesia and stand for the flag on the screen.
or second. So a special moment for those guys.
That's a cool moment that they all get to share.